Well, I still think of them as little. I think of them as too little to make the decision of whether they're going to be vaccinated or not. I think that's definitely down to me and their dad, definitely me. But, I thought I'd be polite there to Tom. So what they're saying is just to get involved in your conversation there. They're saying that if you have a parent that's adamant that they shouldn't be vaccinated, but the child wants to be vaccinated, they'll try and get the parent and the child in the same room to try and make some sort of agreement between the two. But ultimately, they will decide, the health professional will decide whether or not your child is intelligent enough to make that decision for themselves, which I think is crazy because, as Ian quite rightly said, we should be led by science and we should be led by the professionals, but no one's making sense. Last week, the JCVI told us that we shouldn't be vaccinating our children, and all of a sudden there's a huge U-turn and we should. And now they're trying to bring in mental health with that. Now, you guys know, as a friend of the show, I'm constantly talking about mental health. I've suffered so badly with myself with it, but I think it's a real poor thing to bring mental health into it. The getting the vaccine will not stop children getting COVID. It will not stop them passing it on. Therefore, there will still be closures to school. So it's irrelevant what they're saying there. I will not be vaccinating my children. I've sent them off to school every single day, telling them if school do try and give you anything that I have not warned you about, leave school immediately and call me. I'm so horrified that my children might be able to make this decision for themselves, but they're categorically.
I understand. I mean, in a way, the you could say the reason the JCVI took one view and the government took another is because it's 50-50, this one. It's actually not a very big deal in a way. And if you look at the numbers, Nicola, which I showed, the chance, your kids are 11 and 15, they're healthy. The chance of anything going wrong is millions to one against. So what's the worry here?
Okay, so you've just said they're healthy. They are healthy, so why do they need to be jabbed? I get that children with underlying health issues need to be protected from this. My children don't. My children do not need this vaccine. And you're showing numbers there and statistics there, but we don't know yet because that many children have not been jabbed yet. So we do not know the long-term effects of this. We do not know that. They're plucked up. What are they plucked from?
When you say people who are healthy don't need to be jabbed, people get jabbed to stay healthy. That's the point about vaccination, isn't it?
Okay, so only 25 children died. Obviously, tragically, any child dying is horrific from COVID in 12 months. Six of them, sorry, my dog is barking. Jasper, he agrees with me, you see, so he wants to get involved in this. Oh, God, honestly, only me.
Would you pull your kids out of school over it?
Yes, I would pull my kids out of school over it. I strongly agree that at the minute there is not enough evidence for me to agree. I'm not anti-vaccine, by the way. I'm not, it's everyone's choice, but there is not enough evidence for me yet. Not enough children have had this for you to be telling me that only a certain amount of people will get the help, will get the enlarged heart and think there's not enough evidence. My children are my world, like every parent. I'm not sitting here trying to claim to be mother of the year, but they are my life, and I have to make a decision based on, as Ian said, the science, and the science is not giving me very much. I'm not feeling very confident, and if I'm not confident,
hang on.
All I would like to say is I think a lot of parents are going to agree with you actually, and will empathise with what you're going through, and I myself as a mother completely see your perspective. But I hark back to when I was 15 years old going on 16. At that point I knew what I wanted and what I didn't, and we are all adults having this conversation about teenagers. When are we going to bring the teenagers into this conversation to see what they want and how they feel?
I have a 15-year-old. I'm quite a child-led parent. I allow my children a voice. I allow my children to tell me what they want and what they don't want. They quite often do. And I have had this conversation. My 12-year-old is he's very much like me. He's got a very big opinion and he likes to voice it quite regularly. And so I can have the conversation with him. He doesn't even get tested at school. He won't allow them to test him at school. I lateral flow test him at home, I will not allow them to do it at school. I found it absolutely horrifying that I had to email the school to say, I withdraw consent for you to test Striker in school. I never gave consent, so why would I have to withdraw it? They didn't even ask me, so he doesn't get tested at school.
I'm just going to see, Nicola, if I can put your mind at rest, or rather not me, but one of the scientists. Because we talk about myocarditis, this side effect for very small numbers of the vaccine, which is where the heart swells. This is what the scientist said on it yesterday.
But there has been a particular interest in reports of heart inflammation, myocarditis and pericarditis. But overall, the conclusion of our expert advisors is that these are mild cases. Individuals usually recover within a short period of time with standard treatment.
Okay, that's June Rain, the CEO of the MHRA, the Medicines Regulatory Authority. Ian Dale.
Just one point. What would convince me as a parent to have my child vaccinated is if I could be sure that it would reduce the risk of them transmitting it to other people. And I think that is the case, unless I've got something wrong here.
It's a bit... I've asked so many people on this. The answer is if you're vaccinated, you're less likely to get it and you're less likely to pass it on.
And we know that schools are seen to be sort of vectors of transmission of COVID. So therefore, if you can reduce the possibility of it being passed on to other people, that would be a good argument for having your child vaccinated.
Okay.